Nostalgia is one of humanity's most powerful emotions, as it can really dig into a person's past and make them long for a better future, or even a better now for that matter. And, there's lots of studies that have come out why Gen Z or even parts of millennials are very nostalgic for the past. They yearn for the better times. And, there's a lot of reasons as to why that is, but I don't want to make that the subject of this video, and I don't want to spend, like, almost an hour talking about this with hours upon hours of research, as that's out of my scope for right now, at least. But in today's video, I'm just going to talk about, why nostalgia is such a powerful emotion. And I guess to put a little bit of context into my own personal life when it comes to experiences I've had with nostalgia, I mean, there's so many. I could go on and on for hours listing which one would be a good story to tell. But I think the most important part is, say, like, let's look at even the older Call of Duties. I mean, I guess that's why we even make these kind of videos with old Call of Duties in the background, especially with Black Ops 2 being here too, because now Black Ops 2, if you can believe it, is 10 years old this, what is it, October or November? So, lots of people are wanting to play this game again. They're looking back on the past, didn't realize how good we had it in 2012 to 2013, and it's just that initial starting point of digging up the past and realizing just how, we might have taken it for granted in the past. But even then, 2012 and 2013 might have had their own problems, but they're overshadowed by that nostalgia that we're feeling right now. So I guess to answer the question of was the past better? In certain ways. I mean, like I said, in 2012, 2013, I mean, there was an election during that time, and it was controversial for some. I was only 12, 13 years old, so I can't really speak for it. I just remember there were some people that weren't particularly happy, and then there were some people that were, and people just got on with their lives. But, I'd say the reason why so many people in Gen Z and millennials are so nostalgic is really when we were younger, things were very simple. We didn't have to worry about, bills, responsibilities, the state of the world, the state of the economy. And it just felt like, we could do what we want with little to no consequences. And, eventually those days do end, and we have to kind of pick up our bootstraps and just keep going in life and just take it day by day and just going from there. But I think that's the main reason why people are so nostalgic, is it's just they yearn for the past that they miss. They miss those moments in life where they didn't have to worry too much, or they just miss having that carefree life and attitude. And some people, that might not always be the case. Some people didn't have good childhoods and had to deal with some really nasty stuff, which, I mean, hey, that's the unfortunate side of life sometimes. It depends on the hand you're dealt. Some people have it terrible in their early life, but then their later life and adult years get better, so they don't really feel that much nostalgia. Then there's other times where people had a really good childhood and good life in their early years, and then it just got progressively worse, and then it's just more so settling and trying to figure things out. So everybody comes from different spectrums of life and everything, and it's just the best sort of lesson you could take out of it is just enjoy every single moment that you have, and just cherish it, hold on to it, latch onto it, and never forget it. But also at the same time know that eventually it will come to an end, and you're going to have to move forward with, with life and what challenges it can bring. And again, nostalgia isn't really always that bad. It can sometimes help people motivate for a better today or a better tomorrow, and it can really just get people motivated under a common goal sometimes. I mean, sometimes, you can even look no further than when it comes to helping the community, striving for the past. Say, let's use this as an example. Say, a kid, he remembers the past being so much more fun. The park being nice and clean, it was safe and everything. But then as the years go by, crime goes up, the park starts becoming a mess. You're seeing drugs everywhere, needles on the sidewalk and everything, and that kid, he yearns for that past. And so eventually it might motivate him to go into community service or government even, to want to bring that park back to the good old days. Bring it back to, how it once was when he was a child. So that's at least a more positive version of that story. But it isn't always good. You know, there are some stories and instances where some people get so caught up in the past that they refuse to progress and go forward. And again, there's nothing wrong with being caught up in the past, but you need to know when it's time to move forward because the past is in the past. You know, there's not much you can really do at that point, unless you had a time machine, but even then, do you really want to go down that rabbit hole? So that's really what it is. It's a double-edged sword. You never know if you're going to have to, you know, stay in the past for too long or continue going forward. And it can be hard for some people to know the difference between the two. And at least that's the point I want to, you know, make, is that it's not necessarily an easy thing. Like there's not a one-size-fits-all kind of mentality when it comes to nostalgia and how it affects people. But, you know, like I said with that story, it's not always bad, but not all the time it can be good if you get caught up in the past and in the moment. Because, you know, I've met plenty of people in my life where it just destroys their lives and they just don't want to move forward. They just want to stay in the past, remember the good old days, and leave it at that, when they could be missing out on so many good memories and good experiences that they could be having in the now. And, you know, even with the current economic situation, the uncertainty of the future that both Gen Z and millennials face, you know, you gotta sometimes take it one step at a time. And a story just actually appeared in my head. I had a job back about almost in 2 years ago, and this job wasn't anything special. It was basically working as a warehouse person through a temp agency, and it was simple. Like, there was nothing too crazy about it. I wasn't making too much money, but man, I had a fun time doing that. I really did, because for starters, there were days I wasn't even working. Like 4th of July, I had to come in and work, and you know what happened? I didn't have to do a single thing for 8 hours. I just sat up in the office and just did whatever the heck I wanted. And even today, looking back on it, I do miss that job, despite, you know, it wasn't the most glamorous, wasn't the best, but it's those little moments where you're just like, yeah, I had some fun with it despite my circumstance and situation, because my situation financially wasn't good at the time, but now it's like, okay, I'm feeling it, you know, I'm feeling good despite all that. So yeah, that's at least, again, how nostalgia touches me with the story that just came up as I was talking. So, but to answer one final question, is there hope for the future? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at the story I told with the kid wanting the park to be better. There is hope for the future. Nostalgia is a powerful emotion that can be used to increase, or rather improve, the future of our lives, provided we channel it in a good way and move forward with that kind of knowledge and notion. So that's at least how I look at nostalgia and how powerful of an emotion it can be. Not just, again, with gaming or, you know, life, but in general, it just touches everybody differently depending on their life and their stories. So don't let nostalgia cloud your judgment too much and prevent you from achieving greater things in the future. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to pop open a beer or get a drink and just sit back and remember the good old days and relive the glory days. You know, especially if you have other people that you used to do that with. I mean, there's people that go to bars literally just to put their feet up. Well, not necessarily put their feet up, but, you know, lean back in their chair and recount the good old memories that they had years ago, either working on a shitty job or working together as just coworkers and having some funny stories to tell. So that's all I have for this video. Feel free to give a like, comment, subscribe. I prefer the comments just to let you know, just because it lets me know that you guys are still tuning in and talking and giving me some of that nice feedback. So anyway, I'll see you guys on Thursday for the next video, which I won't spoil it, but we're going to be pivoting just a little bit. I want to talk about a particular game that the last month or so has really spoke to me, that games like this are why I love gaming and the potential it has. So I'll leave you with that for the next video. So anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you Thursday.